On the 7th day of grotmas, G-Dubs gave to me the old index detachment, copy and pasted, but also quite a few new unit changes. Welcome to the Grotmas Detachment Show, where each and every day from December 1st to the 24th, Games Workshop releases a new detachment for every army in Warhammer 40k. It's an exciting time and there's a lot to talk about, so let's break it down for you and give you an easy to understand first look at these detachments. Happy Grotmas, everybody! I want to give a very warm welcome back to the Blackspear Task Force. This is of course the index Deathwatch detachment, returned in all its glory. You can actually literally see it's the same exact format as the original index, so no surprises there. I am going to go ahead and take us through all the rules for it, kind of pretending like it's something new, because frankly there's going to be a lot of players that haven't seen it before, so we'll discuss it, and then we're going to take a look at a number of unit changes, which are going to be very interesting and really impactful to the future of Deathwatch. Alright, first off, we got the detachment rule. We have kill teams. Before today, we could only play with the classic old school Marine Deathwatch kill teams and Kill Team Cassius. Now we have returned a number of different kill teams, reimagined and kind of streamlined to only match certain types of Space Marine base profiles, but you can include those in your army, and you cannot include any Deathwatch units from the Agent's Codex other than Kill Team Cassius, which is still legal here. The second and main detachment rule is, of course, mission tactics. This allows you to, once per game in your command phase, pick one of 3 tactics. You can gain for your army until your next command phase sustained, lethal, or precision on 6s. Exactly the same as it used to be. Honestly, it's not too bad. Sustained and lethal are fantastic. The precision on 6s is very situational and almost never comes up. But hey, it is what it is, and it is what it was. Taking a look at the enhancements, so we of course have 4 of them. First off, my personal favorite is Thief of Secrets. This grants the bearer +1 strength, damage, and AP. And this is going to go to +2 on each of these profiles if they kill a model in melee. Absolutely terrifying. Having a Thunderhammer or Power Fist go from 2 damage to 3 damage to 4 is a ton of fun and actually very strong. Next up, we have the Osseous Key. This is for a Watchmaster or Tech Marine only. And what it does is that in your opponent's shooting phase, you can select a non-Titanic vehicle within 12 inches. They must take a battle shock test, and if they pass, they're at least -1 to hit. And if they fail, they can't shoot at all. 12 inches is very, very limiting, and of course it requires your opponent to really just walk into the line of fire for this, so I really don't think we're going to see it very often. The Beacon Angelus, however, very interesting. This grants Deep Strike to the entire bearer's unit, and will allow them to also rapid ingress for free. Now this will of course synergize very well with some of the stratagems later on. I think you're going to see this on the table a lot. Finally, the classic Tome of Ectoclades. This is on a Watchmaster or Captain only, and once per battle you can pick a second Oath target right after you pick the first. So it's kind of like a Gilliman ability, except they're going to be both active at the same time. With that, let's take a look at this stratagem. These are of course not changed either, other than including the FAQs and modifications from the index. First off, we have Armor of Contempt, classic 1 CP stratagem. When one of your units is targeted in the opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, you can subtract 1 from the AP of attacking units' weapons. Next up, we have Adaptive Tactics. This is a 1 CP stratagem in which you can pick 2 kill teams or any one other Marine unit, and they'll gain a tactic of your choice instead of the current one. This is actually a great stratagem, being able to give sustained on 2 squads or lethal on 2 squads. Very, very powerful. Love this strat. Hellfire Rounds is a 1 CP stratagem that's going to grant non-devastating range attacks, anti-infantry 2+, and anti-monster 5+. Now they of course note that you cannot combine this with either of the Kraken or Dragonfire rounds, which are the next stratagems we're going to talk about. This stratagem remains very, very nerfed, and especially with the removal of a number of weapons that you'd want to combine it with, I think it is going to be situational at best. Kraken Rounds 1 CP ability. This one grants +1 AP and +6 range on shooting attacks, and can't be combined with the other rounds. This one is fantastic. Providing an extra 3 inches on rapid fire is not bad, but most notably extra AP on everything is extremely powerful and extremely flexible. We have the final stratagem in the series. Dragonfire Round for 1 CP grants assault and ignore cover on a kill team's weapons, and of course you cannot combine this with other rounds. Honestly, it's another great stratagem, very flexible. And finally, Site-to-Site Teleportation for 1 CP. I'm so glad they actually didn't change this one. This allows you to pick either 2 kill teams or 1 other unit at the end of your opponent's turn. As long as they're not within engagement range, you can put them into Deep Strike, and if they don't have Deep Strike, they gain it. Amazing flexible ability that really makes this detachment tick. So that's going to be it for the core abilities. Of course, normally this is where the video would end, but they did reintroduce a number of different units. We're going to go through all of them again, kind of just noting what they do, and we'll talk about differences as they pop up. First off, the return of the Watchmaster still remains a very powerful character with both a CP reduction ability, and he grants the ability to fall back, shoot, charge, or advance and still shoot and charge. Extremely powerful, traditionally very expensive, but great to see him. Next up, we have Artemis, unfortunately still kind of a mediocre character that grants lethals to his unit and gets back up on a 2+. Deathwatch veterans are of course here. This is the classic build with just the regular bodies that grant reroll 1s to hit or full hit rerolls against Xenos. As I mentioned before, a number of the bodies have been consolidated and kind of simplified. This next unit is Deathwatch Terminators. This is the only way you can have Deathwatch Terminators in a kill team, and it's all Terminators. The unit has the Assault Terminator role, allowing them to reroll charges and cause battle shocks after they charge, which will be at a -1 leadership for Xenos units. Next up, the Corvus Blackstar, honestly still the coolest Imperial Flyer by far. That's all I gotta say about it. Talon Strike Kill Team, this is a new version of a kill team comprised of Inceptors and Jump Pack Intercessors. Very interesting combining all the Jump Packs into one unit. Their special ability is when they arrive on the battlefield, they're gonna get +1 AP in both melee and shooting and lance. I think it's almost there. I just wish there was a more reliable way to get some charging out of Deep Strike to really take advantage of both of these abilities. Fortis Kill Team, of course, is the classic Intercessor team. However, you can no longer attach Outriders to it, but it does introduce Infernus Marines and Devastators to the mix, so really it's just all of those classic Intercessor bodies together. Their ability remains +1 to hit against units below starting strength, and +1 to wound if they're below half. The Indomitor Kill Team returns. This is my personal favorite. It's got all the thick boys together. Of course, now missing the Inceptors. I think it's still pretty interesting. It's going to include your heavy intercessors, your aggressors, and your eradicator equivalent bodies. And their special ability is they get +2 strength when targeting the closest unit. This affects both range and melee. I kind of wish it was extra AP. However, strength 6 bolters, flamers, of course strength 10 power fists in combat. Actually pretty interesting, hits lots of breakpoints. Finally, the second coolest kill team is the Spectrus Kill Team, including Infiltrator bodies, Incursor bodies, Reaver bodies, and Eliminator style bodies. They maintain the Scout 6 inches and Infiltrate, and of course they have the Scouts version of Uppy Downy. So pretty interesting, honestly. I think I would love to play with a couple of these units. This is the Deathwatch Detachment. Overall thoughts, I'm a bit bummed they didn't at least even just reformat the Deathwatch PDF, but it is what it is. Ultimately, I think this is the most that Deathwatch fans could hope for. We're getting a lot of our fun abilities back, so I'm excited to see what are the new things that we can do with the army, and honestly, just excited to see it on the table again. So thank you for bringing Deathwatch back. Of course, let us know what you think in the comments below, and how are you excited for tomorrow?